So today let's talk about why Zimbabweans, why foreigners think South Africans are lazy. Are they lazy? Let's find out. Every foreigner who is in South Africa came from their own country to seek for greener pastures in South Africa. But do you know that in your own country, there is someone who came from another country to look for greener pastures as well? There is no country without foreigners. There are people who are in Malawi, foreigners who are in Malawi who are making money in Malawi. There are foreigners who are in Mozambique who are making money in Mozambique. There are foreigners who are in Zimbabwe who are making money in Zimbabwe. There are foreigners who are in Congo, who are in Nigeria, who are in Ghana, who are making money in those countries. You could not see those opportunities because you were in your comfort zone. So are South Africans. South Africans are not seeing these opportunities because they are in their comfort zones. So you should not only blame South Africans, you should also blame yourself because you also could not see opportunities in your own country. Yet somebody came from another country, came from Asia and saw an opportunity in your own country. And he's making money and taking the money back to Asia, taking the money back to Europe. Yet you are running from your country, you are coming to South Africa. When you come to South Africa, you want to fight with South Africans and you say they are lazy. But are they lazy? Let's talk about it. Let's point why most foreigners think South Africans are lazy. There are so many opportunities that we see here in South Africa that we wish we had in our countries. And we are looking at South Africans, they are not taking those opportunities. It's easy for a foreigner to see an opportunity than it is for a South African to see an opportunity. So here are some advantages and opportunities that South Africans have that foreigners don't have. South Africans can take things on credit, can buy things on credit, can get loans. Let me tell you this, most businesses you are looking at right now, they started on loans. They borrowed the money, and that's how they've established their businesses. People rarely start businesses with their pocket monies. Even when you read all books of all successful people, most of them will tell you that don't buy things from your own cash. Buy on credit, get loans, and start something. So let's look at South African opportunities that foreigners wish they had. It's easy for a South African to get a driver's license without even having to bribe anyone. It's easier for a South African to get a bond for a house. It's easier for a South African to walk into a bank and ask for a loan, but a foreigner is not able to do that. It's easier for a South African to take a phone on credit. It's easier for a South African to have a business permit. It's even easier for a South African to register their own car in their own names. But most foreigners are not able to register their cars on their names. This is why many foreigners end up marrying South African women because they want to partner with somebody who has a South African document so they can put everything in the woman or the husband's ID. Though it's not all who marry for such things. Some marry for love, but some do not marry for love. So let me tell you what I was going to do if I was a South African in South Africa. I'll do whatever it takes for me to get a house bond. When I get a house, I would rent it out so that the house pays itself. And when I fail to pay the house, the bank will take that same house as a collateral. Simple as that. You are not there, you are not involved. Maybe let's say the house bond requires you to pay 15,000 a month. You rent out the whole house for 25,000, which means you are benefiting 10,000 each and every month from a house bond. Alright? There are finance cars that you can get as a South African with a South African ID. You can go to any dealership and get a finance car that you have to pay monthly. Imagine you can get a car that is worth 200 or 300,000 rands. A finance car where you have to pay monthly, maybe 2,000, maybe 4,000. Look how easy it is. And put it on Uber. You must have insurance. You must have a permit and everything. You know how much you can make on Uber per week if the car is yours? 10,000 and above. So we are looking at 40,000 and above. So the car dealership only wants from you 4,000 or 6,000 a month, but you are making 40,000. So taking out 6,000 from a 40,000 that you have made per month is nothing. So when foreigners are looking at these opportunities and they are looking at South Africans not taking these opportunities, that's when foreigners will say South Africans are lazy. And another thing that I would want to talk about, South Africans love to drink alcohol. And I have heard a story, I don't know if this story is true, that when South Africa was still colonized, they used to be paid in alcohol. They used to be paid in wine as your wages. Maybe you've been working for 5 days. Friday evening, they'll have to give you maybe a 5 liters of wine or a 10 liters of wine or whatever amount they would get. So we would like to believe that many South Africans took the spirit of drunkenness. They inherited the spirit of drunkenness from that system that was paying South Africans from the farms with wine. Though I don't know if the story is true or not, but if it is true, then many South Africans might have inherited a drunkenness spirit from that lifestyle that their ancestors were living. South Africans, most of them with drunkenness, they won't come to work on Mondays. Usually Mondays, they don't come to work because they have babalas. So when foreigners are working and they see South Africans doing that, they say South Africans are lazy. But do you know that it may not be these people's fault? These South Africans, these generations' fault. It may be a problem that was caused in the past. Let me tell you why. And I'm going to tell you also where foreigners are wrong on all this. So let me tell you where the whole problem of South Africa is coming from. The whole problem of South Africa is coming from their government. Their government made people lazy. You know, when you build people houses, when you give people a certain allowance for having children, that grant money, when you spoil people, when you give everything, spoon feed them, you are making them lazy. Many people think that this whole system of building people houses, RDPs and all these flats that many people are staying in, many people see that as an advantage. You are being made lazy because what most South Africans are doing right now, they have registered for those houses and they are in the queue, they are waiting. They are not willing to build their own houses because they are waiting for free houses. It's like a father who has his children. So if you look at an example of life, the people who grew up in poverty, they are more likely to be successful in the future than the people who were spoon-fed. Because the people who grew up in poverty do not want to go back there. But the children who were spoon-fed, they think that, okay, we own this. This is ours. We're going to inherit this. We're going to take this. We're going to take this. They are not putting any extra effort because they are waiting for that which their fathers worked for. If you are to look at it right now, most of the foreigners who are here in South Africa, 70% of them grew up struggling in their own villages, back in their own countries. And when they come here, they are not coming here to play. They don't want to go back to that poverty they grew up in. So they are working their way up so that they'll build themselves homes. They'll start for themselves businesses because they tasted poverty and they don't want to go back there. Even those foreigners who were spoon-fed who are here in South Africa, if you look at them, what they do, they are doing nothing. They are just chasing all these nice things. They are not willing to go into a construction company. They don't want to become security guards. They don't want to become Dhaka boys. They don't want to become all these other dirty jobs. They want to do all these nice restaurant jobs and all this where they are wearing suits in hotels. All they want is nice cars. All they want is nice clothes and nice women because they believe they have a house already back home. Their father is already wealthy. So they are different from a foreigner who comes from a village, who doesn't want to go back and live in the same lifestyle that he grew up in. So what I'm saying here is that South Africans have been spoon-fed. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And most of them are in the queue for getting RDP houses. Some already died before they received their houses, but they were waiting. That's why you see most of them don't even want to build houses. They would rather have a nice car, nice clothes and nice this and nice that, but they are living in a shack. They are living in a zinc house because they are waiting for that house that the government promised. Who would want to build his own house when somebody is getting a house for free? So it is like that with South Africans. The other thing that ruined South Africans or Africans as a whole, we took laws that are not ours and made those laws ours. Let me explain to you what I meant. A person like Nelson Mandela is the person that took the laws that belongs to another culture and another people and brought those laws in South Africa. For an example, it is a foreign law to not beat your children. Africans, we beat. That's who we are. That's our culture. But when the foreign law came, they say, no, don't beat your children. If you beat your children and the government finds out, you are going to be arrested. That law is for Europeans, not Africans. Let's be honest. That law is designed to ruin our children. Now that the teachers are not beating our children, the parents are not beating their children, now that even the police are not disciplining criminals, this is why you have so much problems in South Africa. I think in Africa, South Africa is the highest in crime because they adopted a law that is European law. So even the criminals from Zimbabwe, the criminals from Nigeria, the criminals from Malawi, the criminals from all these other neighboring and African countries, they are running to South Africa because here criminals are not beaten. Even when foreigners come to South Africa, they won't beat their children because they will be arrested. So our children also are behaving like animals because we don't beat them. We grew up being beaten in our own countries. That's why we are different. Let me tell you this. A South African who was raised by both parents has respect and knows the standards of life than a South African who was raised by the streets. Many South African children are raised by the streets. The mother got pregnant while she was sleeping around, maybe with a Nigerian or a Zimbabwean. I'm telling you, South Africa in future, South Africa will be run by children of foreigners. Because when these girls are drunk, they sleep around and they get children. And they get Zimbabwean children, Nigerian children, Malawian children, Mozambican children. So because this child is staying with Ugogo in South Africa, with the grandma in South Africa, and Ugogo, the grandmother, is not able to beat the child when the child does wrong. So the child will sleep around and grandma cannot do anything. Grandma cannot waste her time to go to the police and report that my grandchild is going with boys. So what does grandma do? Grandma will just watch. There is even a law that says here, when your child is 18, you can kick them out of your house. That law is again not African law. It's a European law. What Europeans do, or what the West do, or what the rich people do, they save for their children. Because the rich people are the ones who give us these laws. They save for their children. Before a child is born, a rich person is already saving for his child. He already has a bank account for his child. And at 18, they give their children a bank card full of money and say, go your way. What about us Africans who never got even an inheritance from our fathers? What are we going to give to our children? So how can you kick out your child at 18 with nothing? What do you expect of that child? To become what? The child will be raised by the streets. Your child will join prostitutes because prostitution is easy money. Your child will join gangsterism because gangsterism is easy money for them. So once you brought the European laws to bring them in Africa, they will ruin us. All other countries may not have these laws in place. That is why they are still safe, because criminals are still being treated as criminals. If a child is wrong, the child will be punished, will be disciplined. Even the Bible says, if you don't discipline your child, then you don't love your child. So South Africa right now, the government of South Africa doesn't love its people because it's not disciplining them. There would not be so much crime if South Africans were to be disciplined. Even the criminals from Zimbabwe, the criminals from all these other countries, they are running here to South Africa. Some people who are robbing us right now, even as Uber drivers, they are foreign robbers who are joined with South African robbers. Each and every country has criminals, but they run away from their countries and come and do crime here. Because here they know when they go to prison, they will eat KFC still in prison. They will still be visited. They are watching TV. They are enjoying life. When I was staying in Athlone, my neighbor was beaten by his son. And his son went to prison, I think for about 6 months. His son came from prison looking better than he was looking when he was outside. Prison was taking good care of him. They actually enjoy going to prison because it's enjoyable. But in Zimbabwe, in other countries, prison is not nice at all. Prison is never nice. You eat beans for the next 30 years in prison. You sleep without blankets. If you go to Zimbabwe, you see nobody has a bed in prison. They sleep on the floor. So anyone who goes to a Zimbabwean prison will not want to go back there. But here, people will always want to go back. There is even a story of someone who went to a restaurant, he ordered food, and he told the cashier that he was not going to pay. They said, okay, we are going to call the police. He said, okay, do that. They called the police came, that guy was arrested. He went to court, he was given 3 months or 4 months in prison. He was even thanking the people for calling the police, saying, thank you for calling the police. They say, why? He said, it's about rain season, I'm homeless. so I have to be in prison until the rain season is over. That's why he went into a restaurant, he ate food, he didn't pay for it. So the Western laws and the European laws ruined South Africa, and they were put in place by the South African government. Right now, even a South African who might be watching this video may say, but you are a foreigner, go back to your country. Yes, you are right, 100%. I want to agree with you on that one. Now let's talk to foreigners. Foreigners who are here in South Africa must respect South Africans. I see when I go to the township, foreigners are doing whatever they want in South Africa. Some, even when you go to Joslovo, they will leave their cars parked in the middle of the road. And a South African want to pass. And a South African won't be able to pass only because a foreigner is standing in the middle of the road. Why don't we have respect for the citizens of South Africa? Forget about them being lazy. They are doing whatever they want to do. But let's respect them. Whatever they are doing, if they say foreigners mabahambe, we must go, people. Let's not wait for them to tell us, let's go back to our own countries and fix our own problems. Right now, you don't even want to go back to your country because when you go back to your country, the roads are bad, this is bad, this is bad. Now you are comparing your country with South Africa, like you belong to South Africa. You must know as a foreigner, you don't belong here. If you see a South African saying, you must go back, don't hate that person. He's telling you the truth. You must go back to your country. There is a reason why you were born in that country. You were born to save that country, but you are here now saving another country. The reason why South Africa will keep getting richer is because all the intelligent people of Zimbabwe, of Nigeria, of Congo, all the intelligent foreigners are coming here to South Africa. That's the same reason why America is rich, because it keeps taking the intelligent people and making them citizens. If South Africa begins to do that, we will lose our own intelligent people. So I always gave this example. When we were growing up, we did not want any guy to come into our area, into our neighborhood, and approach girls from our neighborhood. We would hate that. So the same thing with South Africans. We are taking their jobs, 100%. I'm not disagreeing. Don't even reject that you are taking their jobs. You are taking their jobs. That's the honest truth. You are taking their jobs. Are you not saying the same thing about Chinese in your countries? You're saying Chinese are taking our land. Chinese are taking this. Chinese are taking that. In your own countries, in Zimbabwe, in Malawi, in Kenya, Chinese are taking over. So the same thing that you are accusing Chinese, that's the same thing that they are accusing you. Are you not taking their women? You are taking their women. We are taking their medicine in the hospitals. And I even listen to South Africans when they talk about this thing. They say when they go to the hospital, there is a big queue. And many people in front of a South African are foreigners. So me, I'm not going to stand with foreigners. I'm not going to stand with South Africans. I said the bad side of South Africa, and I'm going to say the bad side of foreigners. Foreigners, we must go back to our own countries. Let's not hate South Africans when they fight for their country. You yourself, let me tell you, you yourself have foreigners in your own countries. And some of you don't even like the foreigners in your own countries. Yet you, when you come here, you want to act like South Africans are wrong. Let me tell you, I'm from Zimbabwe, right? And in Zimbabwe, we have Malawians. If you look at it really, some of you don't even know why Zimbabweans and Malawians don't really click. Malawians, when Zimbabwe was good, Malawians took over the whole Zimbabwe. The whole Harare and Bulawayo and all these big cities, most landlords are originally Malawians. So they are made citizens. If you go to their grandparents, you find that the grandparent was Malawian. So Malawians came to Zimbabwe and took over and took their jobs and took their women and took everything that belonged to Zimbabweans, real Zimbabweans. Let me tell you, a huge number of people who are in Zimbabwe right now are foreigners. I'm telling you, maybe 40%, some from Mozambique, some from here, South Africa, some from Malawi, some from Zambia. I'm telling you, if you go back, the easiest way for you, if you are Zimbabwean and you are watching this, the easiest way for you to know what I'm telling you right now, just look at the last names of people. We don't have Bandas in Shona. We don't have Piris and Mwales. All those people are either Zambians or Malawians, but they are now Zimbabwean citizens. They can now speak Shona. They can't even speak Chichewa. So we all have foreigners in our own countries. Zimbabweans don't like Malawians. If you look at all those Alec Machesos, all those, some of the celebrities that we have in Zimbabwe, most of them are from Malawi. In South Africa also, most of the celebrities they have here in South Africa, most of them are from Zimbabwe. So this whole game is just playing itself, and we are just victims. So my last words to South Africans, keep fighting for your country, but don't kill people. I would do the same. If my country is invaded, I'm just being honest here. I would do the same when my country is invaded. Let me give you my last example. When we were children, sometimes there would be a visitor. Like me, I was raised by my grandmother. My grandmother would dish food for us, and then we hear a knock on the door. A visitor is knocking, and we know that in the pot, there is nothing left here. Everything was shared. We knew when we hear a knock, we knew that our grandmother was going to take our plates again and share with the visitors. And I hated that, especially me. You also hated that. Who wanted to share a piece of chicken or a piece of meat that was dished into your plate? Who wanted to share with a visitor? Nobody. South Africans don't want to share their women with foreigners. South Africans don't want to share their country with anybody. Most people who are criticizing their countries are the diasporians, are the people who are outside. Do you know the Zimbabweans who are in Zimbabwe? They don't care about what the government is doing. They focus on their businesses. They only cry when the government destroys their things. But if the government is not destroying their things, they're only minding their own businesses. But people, Zimbabweans who are in South Africa, who are in the diaspora, they mock their country on social media. The world knows Zimbabwe because of Zimbabweans who say bad things about Zimbabwe. So let us go back. Let us not say we are going back, we are running away from these South Africans who want to kill us. But let us go back to build our own country, to fight for our own countries. If we believe our countries are in danger, let us not fight on internet. Let us go there physically. So as I was saying, I'm neutral here. I'm not picking any side. I'm not standing with South Africans. I'm not standing with foreigners. But I was hitting on both sides. Let me know what you think I did here in the comment section. Share with me your opinion. I think it's good that South Africans fight for their country. And I think it's good foreigners must go back to their countries. And I'm one of them. I am going back. Voluntarily going back. Not by force. I'm going back voluntarily. Because yes, South Africans are going to fight you. But they are not going to fight you forever. And I want you to know also as South Africans, you can fight foreigners 2026. But 2027, you may be quiet. They won't all go. That's one thing I will promise you. Because some of them ran away from their countries. Some of them, they don't even have homes anymore. So they are not going anywhere. Either the government will take people and kick them out and drop them off by the border. The people they drop, they are just making also a U-turn coming back into South Africa. So foreigners will be always killed. Foreigners will be always beaten. This will continue forever and ever. But many foreigners will not leave. But I am urging that foreigners, we must leave to build our own countries. Not because South Africans are kicking us out, but let us go build our own countries. There are people who like to say, we saved South Africans during the time of apartheid. They ran from South Africa. They came to Zimbabwe. We gave them refuge. Yes, we did that. But if I help you today, don't expect me to come back to you and say, do you remember I helped you that time? Now it's your turn. You help me also. That's not how helping works. Helping is voluntarily. Zimbabweans, voluntarily, let's go back home. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Peter Mutarani signing out.